In this video, I'm going to show how to replace the camshaft position sensor on this Nissan Frontier. We're working with the 2.5 liter engine, 4-cylinder that is, and this is located on the back side of that engine. You're going to access it through the passenger side fender well. Let's get started. With the vehicle safely raised and supported, use a 21mm socket to remove all 6 lug nuts and then pull the wheel off. On the back of the fender liner, we'll see this splash guard. It's held on with 3 Phillips head fasteners at the front. Let's remove all 3. There's one more underneath on the back side. Now this can be removed. Looking at the top where the fender liner meets the fender, there's a couple Phillips head screws here as well. One towards the back and one towards the front. Some more Phillips head screws on the bumper cover side. So right here where the fender, the bumper cover and the fender liner meet, there's one. Then further down, another. And underneath the front bumper, you'll see 2 access holes for 2 more Phillips head screws. All we have left is some push clips. All I have is one. There should be multiple throughout the fender liner, one here, this one here, and a couple towards the front. Like I said, I only have this one, so that's what I'll remove. I'll use a trim tool to pop out the center. It looks like mine just fell right out. It is mostly broken, so I will be replacing that and hopefully adding some more as well. Now you can take the fender liner and wiggle it out of place, push it towards the inside, then towards the bottom, and that should unhook it. Pull it out. There we go. I want to move this harness a little bit, which means unclipping it from this retainer and unclipping it from this retainer here, just so I can push it to the side and give myself a little bit more room to stick my arm in there. To do that, you can use a couple different things. You could use a screwdriver, some pliers, whatever you can get in here to pinch on that little tab and push it up. There we go. Now this one up here is going to be the same, but it's going to be way more difficult to access since it's tucked up behind this bracket. So you might actually be better off with a trim tool just prying it out. There we go. Okay, I was able to pop that out. We'll push it to the side. Now we can see and have a lot better space in there to work. Right in there is the cam sensor that we're after. I'm going to reach in and try to unplug it. It isn't kind of a tough spot. I'm going to move this hose out of my way. Now I'm going to use the screwdriver that I bent a little bit, and I'm resting it on the bracket for that hose that I just pulled off. I'm using this to pry it up on the locking tab, and then another screwdriver to help me push the connector off. Sure, you could reach it by hand, but it's very difficult to, because it's upside down, to press and pull at the same time. So we're going to take that off. With a 10mm socket, we're going to remove this bolt. That secures the cam sensor on the engine. Remove that bolt all the way. And now the tough part will be to try to get this out. Usually the O-ring that seals it up will be stuck and it will be difficult to actually remove. Try to twist it a little bit at first to see if you can actually break that free. I'm going to try to push it with a screwdriver. So that is broken free to some extent. It'll twist. We just need it to pop out. I'm going to use a 12mm socket or wrench to remove this bolt, which if I remove this bracket, it gives me access right at the base of the sensor, and I can use the screwdriver to help pry it out. Okay, set that aside. I'm going to try to move this so that I can get my screwdriver back here. I'm going to take a flathead screwdriver now, put it right up against the base of the sensor, tap this with a hammer, very gently. There we go. Vibrations and the pressure broke that free. So now we can take it out the rest of the way. I'm going to clean up the mounting area where the sensor bolts on to make sure there's no debris, corrosion. We'll take our new camshaft position sensor. I know it looks different, but it's going to work just fine. It's just picking up the magnetic pulse, and the design of it is, well, just a little bit different. So you want to put it in now that you've cleaned the mounting hole, and you want to make sure that it is fully seated. That O-ring needs to be pushed in by hand. I put a little bit of engine oil on the O-ring to help it seat. Twist it and wiggle it at the same time. That should help it pop in. What you don't want to do is pull it in with the bolt, because that'll put it at an angle and potentially damage it. There we go. That just slipped right in. I'm going to try to line it up with the bolt hole now, right down here. Get that bolt back on with it bottomed out. Let's just tighten it a little bit. What you're looking for is about 1/8 of a turn after it gets snug. So that right there is snug. Just a little bit extra. It is a small bolt going into aluminum, holding on to a plastic tab on the sensor, so it's all very delicate. Now turn your connector however you need to turn it to plug this in. When you plug it in, you want to make sure it clicks. And that is secured. Let's reattach this bracket that we took off for this hose. It has a little tab on the back side that'll stop it from spinning, which is helpful for when you tighten it. It'll just stop right where it needs to be. So I'll put that 12mm wrench back on and tighten it up. That's snug. I'll give it about 1/8 of a turn. That's plenty right there. It's just holding on to a little bracket. And now we'll set our hose back into it. There we go. We'll clip this harness back in at the top and on the bottom. Let's put the fender liner back up in place. Once you get it mostly lined up, you want to push it in, up, and then back out to kind of hook it up and over the fender. Let's put back some push clips. I have a bunch of new ones to install since my old ones broke, or, well, most of them were missing, really. Another one at the top in the center, and another one all the way in the front. Let's reattach the splash guard. 4 Phillips head screws, 3 go right here in the front, and 1 from underneath. And the ones that go up and into the fender. And 2 more screws right in the front underneath. Let's get the wheel back on. We'll start on all 6 lug nuts, bottom them out in a cross pattern, and then also in a cross pattern, we're going to torque them to 98 foot-pounds. "98 foot-pounds in a cross pattern, here we go. We'll double check them all. There you have it. Job is done.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.